Hello, this is Dr. Pete, and got a number of students calling about this various issues. And one of them that keeps coming up is a lot of schools have different levels of assignments. So, for example, you may have an academic discussion post, which is pretty standard plate. Then you have maybe an assessment or some type of short writing. You might have multiple choice, and you probably will have some type of written paper. So those are normally three main categories, if you will. If you count multiple choice, a fourth one, or short answer. But at the end of the day, discussion posts are, let me say this, multiple choice, short answer are pretty straightforward. You're going to fill in a word or multiple choice A, B, C, D, and that's either a go or no go, and it's pretty direct and forward. When you start looking at how you do discussion posts versus like maybe an assessment or maybe a short paper, if you will, and then actually a written paper, look at it from the perspective that you're going to use these to build up. Now, the school may tell you, well, the discussion post is truly your discussion, and you should be sharing all these ideas, and it's more important about what you think versus how you present it. And I believe fully and fundamentally that's not good advice, and I'll tell you why. Because if you present something as, okay, hey class, this is what's going on, and let me just talk like we're talking right here, people don't take that as serious. It's not academic. It's not even professional. Once you start writing in academics, like a, say, conversational tone, like I, we, us, they, it starts carrying over to how you support things, how you organize them, how you're just talking what's coming out of your mouth. And that really lowers the quality of that. In some schools it's acceptable, and others it's not. But in the professional world, the more professional and the stronger the job or the higher the title, the more responsibility, the less just talking it randomly is going to really pay off. So it's a really good habit to really write a paragraph or whatever you're required and cite it and write good APA. I always say good grammar never goes out of style. Some places it does, but unfortunately, eventually it will get back to them, because when you go in the real world, good grammar is important. If you're going to cite sources, some schools say you have to, some don't. It doesn't matter what they say. You know it's the right thing. Use sources, use details, use the library, textbooks, whatever. Make your work, support it, and it makes it easy for the professor to grade, but it looks professional, and it helps you to grow in the three skills of researching, writing, and analysis. Those are very important skills. Then when you go to the assessments or short answers or things like that, then you flow over. Now you're just making bigger examples of that. But when you start writing papers like you're talking, then you start having more and more trouble. And then those shorter paragraphs, like regular paragraphs but shorter responses, that rolls up in the papers. So they all kind of roll together. And if you start cheating yourself along the way, then you start having trouble writing. Another issue, too, is when you get to the paper, a number of students will sit there and try to project, it's not my fault for bad writing. It's, in other words, no one's told me, which that's fine to a point, but in other words, you can do your own research. You can look at your own papers. You can do your own Perla writing program or whatever you're going to use. But you need to sit there and take that time in order to sit there and say, I need to do this. I need to write this paper effectively. I know where the library is, so don't make excuses. I don't know how to use it. Anytime you do something at the last minute, there's a lot of stress, and then it becomes someone else's fault. That doesn't really cut. Now, some professors will let you go and they'll let you slide, and they're not doing you any favors, because when you get in the real world again, there's going to be a boss that says, this is unacceptable, you didn't get it done. And you say, yeah, but I did it all at the last minute and my computer went down. Or I did it all at the last minute and I didn't feel good. Or I did it all at the last minute and I couldn't get the internet to work. They don't care about that. The question is, you're not done, and why not? And then that just ruins the reputation or diminishes your role or promotions or anything else. So when I express this stuff in the class, part of it is based because I am a real person and I look at real world projects, and that if you don't do these things, it becomes quite the issue. So while it's easy to check mark, and there's a video on check mark students, you can check mark your way all through a degree, and then a lot of times you can get through. But then when you get in the real world, then it becomes real and it's very difficult, and now you're frustrated because you don't know how to write, you don't know how to research, and you really don't know how to analyze. And all these things come crashing down at the end. So do what you want, how you want, whatever, that's your choice, but realize these choices really have impact. And if you take each assignment as something that this is a really good opportunity for me to grow and develop, then you're going to go down the road and it's going to keep helping you to grow and develop. Even someone who focuses on discussion posts and academics and citing and developing and all that, even though it's not required, or maybe it is required, that person is going to be exposed to more research, more details, more practice, and they're going to be a better student all around, and they're going to develop more over the years. And that's the concept. You're not going to boil the ocean at one sitting. Just take a cup and boil it 1 cup at a time. And eventually you'll have a whole tub full. You might even have a big pool full. But you're going to have to take time to do all these things. So are there shortcuts? Yes, I can show you every shortcut in the world. But that just means you're shortchanging yourself. So look at it as you're spending, even if it's free, you're spending your time, and that's not free. That's more valuable than money. Time is more valuable than money. So figure out what's important to you, put the time into it, and then you can sit there and get the most out of it. So this is just some suggestions. If you have any other ideas or topics, drop me a line, and best of luck.